How about now? Ah, we got sound now. There we go. Thank God. It's always something. There's always some little problem, some little hiccup every time. Hi, cat. How are you? Come here. Yeah, get some snuggles. Hi, Sam. It's a Sam. What are you doing? Are you gonna whack the cameras and make my filming all wobbly tonight? Alright, let's put stuff away. Yeah, it's just a little bit one of the daunting aspects. Let's see if I can trick Sam into coming up real quick. Come here. Can I lift you up? Can I lift you up? Will you fall for a scoop? Ooh, you fell for a scoop. Oh boy. You fell for it. Oh, you fell for it. Hi. You want to go there? You tend to like that a lot more. Oh, oh, scratch, 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 scratch. Yes. Hi. Oh, you're a good boy. Yes, make the light source and the camera wobble. Yes, and get lots of fur in here to go into the mache. If the pumpkin isn't at least 50% cat hair, it's just not a pumpkin. Hi. Yes, black cat hair is an essential ingredient of pumpkins. Hi, you really wanted to cuddle. I figured you'd be down here in like 2 seconds. Hey, Joey. I figured you would just hop right down. Hi, you want to come over here and get some pets? Huh? Huh? You're still up here. Why haven't you hopped down yet? What is wrong with you tonight, cat? Yeah, keep just rubbing up against that lamp and knocking things all over the place. Oh. Thank God I put the main camera further away, huh? Huh? And we got little purrs and everything. Oh my God. Yeah, he is unusually. It's like he sensed the filming. Excellent, John. Absolutely excellent. I am just getting started. It was a long, slow summer wherein I tried to get that drone business off the ground, but it really never launched quite as much as I wanted to. My name's out there, but it's just not a lot of work in the area. I don't know why. There's tons of places that could benefit from it. I think my work is really good quality, but would you stop knocking over the paper towels? Here, come this way. Come this way. Yes. There we go. Good boy. You got to go around the long way, Fuzz Face. The long way. Yeah, there you go. Good boy. But I really wanted to make sure that I could release the version 2 pumpkin video before Halloween, or at least before September, because most folks start their projects late August or early September, and then they get going all September long, and then they have their project to enjoy for the month of October. We'll see. All right, otherwise we'll see what's up. All right. So I have my other camera here that I'm going to try to do to film try to film it in there. Thanks, Sushi. I am, again, surprised he got up there that long. Usually Sam gets picked up, goes, what, being picked up? What's going on here? What the hell? Oh, my God. And then he immediately hops down. He really lingered quite a while. All right, so we should probably do the intro to the video. The main camera is on an orientation there from our camera. So we're going to do a little bit of filming, and as soon as I start off on the silent work, then I can interact all we want. But let's go. All right, got this set. Let's pull out a pennant so we look all authority. Now they barely see the damn thing. Okay. Yeah, I got light blasting me from there. I think we're good. So here we go. Hey Jim, just about to fire up the camera for some filming of the version 2 pumpkin, so I'll be aloof for a few minutes. Okay. Hello, it has been quite a while, but I am back and it is time to talk about beach ball pumpkins. In almost every regard, I would say superior to stuffed trash bags in terms of ease and facility. So, to do a beach ball pumpkin, what you need to do is get yourself a bowl. Absolutely, just a bowl, because otherwise, this is going to happen. Left, right, center, all over the place. And you will hate your life, and you will hate everything about it. So, bowl, bucket, something that will stop your beach ball from running all over the place. Beach balls come into all shapes and sizes, which will mean you have full customizability of your pumpkin. Now, some people are going, how are you going to get the ridging on the side? Don't you want to clamp down on it, cover it with tape? You could. You could do some intro stages like that. You could have a form that way to start out, but I find it's much easier to do with paper clay towards the end of the process. But get the beach ball of the size you want. Make sure you have something that'll make sure it won't roll around on you. And make sure that when you start off, your inflation apparatus is at the bottom. We do not want to cover it up because later on we're going to let the air out of this thing and pull it right out of our pumpkin to be used again and again and again. Once you've got it inflated, do a quick quality control check. Just put your ear to it, give a little squeeze, make sure you don't hear any hissing. Don't squeeze it so much that it pops. I would think that would be obvious, but you never know. But give it a little squeeze. Make sure you didn't, buy the 50-cent Wish beach ball and it's going to quit on you halfway through. Obviously, you can reinflate it, but it's just nice to know that you've got that stability when you start. You're not going to walk back in on your project to find it's totally collapsed. Then, position your inflation on the bottom of your stand, and just as if it was a normal trash bag pumpkin, we're going to just start layering. So, get your smoosh, grab yourself a paintbrush, grab yourself some paper strips, and just like a regular normal pumpkin, we're going to paint on our goop. These strips are a little bit wide for me, so you may see me tearing them a bit smaller throughout the process. We just lay it on, grab your brush, coat it over, layer another one, and we begin the long, boring process of getting approximately 6 layers onto our pumpkin. So I'm going to melt my brain on this for a while, and I will see you when it's all said and done. Yeehaw! So now we're on to stuff that will be fast forwarded during the regular video. Hello, Jane. Good to see you. I love Wales. Beautiful area. It's been a long time since I've been there. Trav's here with us. Awesome. Awesome, awesome. Everybody's having a good time. Sushi, for the glue, I am using a mixture of flour Elmer's white glue and water. This is some pretty easy stuff. The whole goal of this project is to make it as accessible for everybody as possible. So, simple, easy to obtain ingredients for the most part. And I'll do a minor pause in the video at some point to talk about how you tend to get things thicker at the top of the beach ball rather than the bottom, just because the way the paper spreads. You'll always get greater overlaps at the top. Oh God, yeah. No, I'll never use a stuffed trash bag again. It takes forever. You end up with a lot of wasted materials, obviously, and then that inside, as you mentioned there, is just so full of nooks and crannies. Hey, Juju, how's it going? Yeah, I'm hitting the end of the summer here. It's like I haven't done a damn thing, and I want to get the next video out, so I'll be darned if I don't get it this year. So right now I'm recording the part one, or rather some of the long exposure stuff that's going to take me 3 hours, but it's going to go through the video in about 15 seconds. Let's focus on here and do just a quick zoom in. Yeah. And then we'll see what else we can get up to this year. My buddy's coming down this weekend. We're going to do tombstones. We're going to try to do tombstones. I've got to go back to work and get my styrofoam burning equipment. Styro glue is here, but I'll put Don to work on doing the part that I hate, which is getting the wood filler around the outside and possibly sending him to the hardware store. Yeah, I hear you too. Nobody wants to sit here and watch somebody add strips for hours on end. It'll get real boring real quick if you're not interacting with them. Oh yeah, you know, of my display pumpkins, I think only 2 are beach ball. All the rest of mine I was doing when it was still plastic bags. And when I do them with my kids at school, I still use plastic bags. Mostly because the materials are a lot cheaper, and the school sure as hell isn't buying me beach balls for everybody. But I can trust them not, you know, play with the beach balls, I'll pop the beach balls, hurl the beach balls at other people while they are still covered with yuck. And my creations have an edge sometimes. As we all know, the best part is paper clay, because you can really just let your imagination go nuts. You know, I've got a chunk of EVA foam, Trav, and I have not really messed with it at all. I got excited when I saw some people's, I think it was like a giant, kind of like a steampunk pumpkin automaton creature, and I went, oh my god, that's so cool! And then I realized a couple things about EVA. Number one, using it with heat reeks. Number two, if you are doing any kind of costume with it and you're inside of it, if it is encompassing at all, prepare to sweat yourself to death, because it has all the breathability of a brick. But it looks good, and the other thing that I think is nice about it is that if it gets whacked, it will tend to deform a little bit rather than just have the paint scrape off. So, yeah. Otherwise, I haven't done really anything with UVA foam. I was thinking about making a couple of van braces with it for my haunt character. But, yeah. Oh, good, yeah, if it's for a mannequin, great. Let the mannequin feel the heat. They'll never care. Bamboozle, I am making a paper mache pumpkin. So let me move this very briefly, and you can see the one in the background there that I already have mostly made. This is the opening bit for it, where you get your paper mache form going. We used to use stuffed trash bags, but the problem with those were, number one, the form tends to get very over time, and the inside of them is incredibly difficult to paint. Now, realistically, I probably ought to just move that one so it's in the field of view in case anybody else has that same question. It's not a bad question. Here is person who is crafting. What the hell are they doing? Well, I don't know. I wonder too. There we go. Now it can take the forefront in both fields of view. Yes, the EVA is very easy to work with, and you also don't get any of that, you know, the problem with some media where you get any kind of later shrinkages or expansions. It's locked in place. What you make is what you make, and it's not going to deform on you, and you don't have to take into account, you know, unless you have an actor inside who's going to be maneuvering, moving, and doing stuff. There's not that problem. Sadly, though, this Halloween is going to be a affected by COVID once again. Hey Derek. Sorry your phone is giving you such issues. Actually, my Facebook thing is not even telling me. I have to re-register my stuff with it so I can see people trying to chat on there, which I really despise. But quite frankly, I didn't think I'd get too many people watching via Facebook at this hour. It's 3:02 in the morning. Only idiot school teachers whose sleep schedules are completely destroyed by summer are dumb enough to be working this late at night. Though I have got to reset my sleep schedule because I'll be back to work in another couple of weeks. And I've got some training to do on Friday, Monday, Tuesday this week, and probably some classroom moving to do as well. And that's going to be a nightmare. But hey, if they want a crazy program, then they're going to get crazy hours. And at least the nice thing with this series is I'm not really going to have to go over mache recipes and paper clay recipes, because for the most part, they're unchanged. Yep, third shift jobs will do that to you. Absolutely annihilate your circadian rhythm. Alright, I'm going to go back to yak into the camera for a second, if you'll indulge me. Alright, I've just put on one layer of mache. One consequential item that happens with almost all these is that you get more overlap of your strips towards the top of the beach ball. Consequently, this upper layer here will get thicker and bulkier faster than this rim layer down here. So there's a couple of things you need to do. Every now and again, send a few strips over the top, which I'm about to do. And another thing you can do is switch up every now and again, and rather than sending your strips top to bottom continually, you send a horizontal layer around the equator of the ball. And this will bulk up this somewhat, just by consequence, neglected section and make sure that you have relatively even thickness throughout. As long as it's stable, we don't care, but we also don't want this collapsing on us halfway through either. Okay, time to keep my word. And let's make it face the camera as well while we do it. Last third shift job I did. What was that one? I was working for the alarms. Man. I think the alarm company was the last one I did. I have one horrible experience working with liquid latex. I had a 10th grade student many years ago who asked if she could use it to make a Halloween mask. I, being very interested in both Halloween and the process of mask making, said sure. So we made a plaster of Paris mold, and we put it in there, and we sloshed it about, and we let it dry, and it came out horribly. And I don't think that was necessarily anyone's fault or even a problem. It was an initial experimentation, so I did not expect it to be anything perfect or wonderful. But I was unimpressed with its drying time, and the applications for which I could use it were very limited. So I don't believe it's a bad material in any way, shape, or form. And I know that our good buddy Alan Hops does amazing, absolutely amazing stuff with it. But it is not anything that I have had extensive experience or use for. Yep, that Delta variant is going to make this year crazy. They're trying to keep all the students with in-person education and doing things in wacky, nutty ways to sustain both our low student numbers in our program and the fact that we have students split over 2 campuses. But personally, I think it's going to be a nightmare. They've got an innovative solution. I just don't have a whole lot of faith, and I've got many a bad vibe in the back of my brain for how BOCES tends to plan and implement things. Yeah, I'm really not surprised at the number quarantine, and the fact that I'm not sure. I think it was Pfizer was going for the bit where they can administer it to people who are 12 or 13, the lower age group, suffice to say. It wasn't as low as 12 or 13, I don't believe. But I know they were trying to get authorization to be able to give the vaccine to the younger age group. And the Delta variant is somewhat resistant to earlier vaccines, which I'm not surprised, but once the RNA is coded and set into a new booster, it'll peel back. This will be an interesting experimentation into fighting successive waves of a disease with RNA-based vaccines. Yeah. Okay, this 12-year-old kids. Have a good one, Jim. Yeah, everybody's got to bail. It's fucking early ass in the morning. I don't hold anybody to do to watching. Go sleep. Eventually, even I'll run out of steam here. Good. And the more they can shut down the spread of COVID, the more we don't get hospital flooding. And we turn what could have been a nasty situation into a moderate inconvenience. And I'll take a moderate inconvenience over, oh my God, everybody died in 2020 and 2019. Or at least did not died. It's, everybody caught a horrible respiratory infection. And lots of people who should have been able to get a lot more out of life were tragically cut short. I know for us, they're going to try to do the whole mask wearing, but then they're not going to enforce it in the school worth a fart. And then which is always my big state of annoyance. Non-unilateral enforcement of measures that are supposed to be serious, but if you don't have serious consequences, then why would you take it seriously? Don't do that. Why shouldn't I do that? Because if you do that, I'll tell you not to do that again. Okay. Knock yourself out, Grandpa. I have seen that staffing for many hospitals is having large issues. My friend who's a nurse in Plattsburgh is absolutely wit's end with some of the crazy decisions hospital management is making. Hey, good. Make it voluntary. Just make those kids who want to voluntarily not do it go to a different building. But we don't have the buildings and the staff and whatnot for that. I'm sorry, but wearing a mask is not that big of an inconvenience. Hey, John, how we doing? Just getting the next phase of pumpkin video out there. Oh, this is layer 2 that I'm working on as well. No idea what kind of introduction I'm going to do for this video. There it is. I have to get my books to hand out for this year's Halloween too. Let's see if I can get some. I may well do that, Pearl, because well, we'll see. I know the intro I will be lambasting the foam pumpkins. As always, I went to a website, I think it was called like funkin.com, and the damn things were like $45-50 for maybe like a 13-inch foam pumpkin. It was ridiculous. Yeah, I give out short story books every year at Halloween. Maybe about 30-40 books. Anybody who comes in who's either really scared and being really brave, or somebody with a really cool costume, we give them a book. Yeah, those, I couldn't believe that site. I mean, quite frankly, I didn't know if it was a legit site. I'm sure it was, because it was the first thing that came up on Google, and multiple searches, it seemed to be a legit sales site, but good Lord. Just... prices on foam pumpkins. And it's foam. You know they're not that expensive. They're, you know, I'm sure they had their startup costs because they had to make their mold, they have to make their paints, but once you set it up into a mass production auto assembly line, and I know they are because you can find them in every Michaels and craft store across the continental U.S. this time of year. Once you hit that and you do multiple years of sales, those costs diminish until you're into heavy profit. And the biggest problem with the damn things is making them hollow. I've seen several folks make pumpkins out of like Tractor Supply store carvable foam that are not hollow, but I don't know. To me, making a pumpkin that isn't hollow just seems, I'm sure it's speedy, but the product you're going to get out of it is nowhere near as good. The whole part of the tradition is you light it up from the inside. Oh yeah. There's the tea lights, there's the LED bulbs that look like flickering flame. So many things go in these guys to up their ante significantly. I think I'm almost done with layer 2. Now we'll take a second to talk at the camera about a little bit of cross hatching. There we go. All right. Ooh. Time to talk at the camera again. A second or 3. Okay. Hello again. I've gone around, made 2 layers on here, and you can kind of almost see here the ridge that's forming at the top that indicates a thicker layer with all the overlaps. What I'm going to do now is start going around the side, and what I may end up doing is doing a little bit of cross hatching, because these strips will not bend perfectly around, but you can get a nifty little diagonal pattern that just kind of weaves like wicker and looks good and adds a good amount of strength to the pumpkin. God, I would love a comfier chair here. A ton of people have asked me about doing snowmen in the past. And I've seen a number of people who have done snowmen. Snowmen are not terribly tough to do. It's effectively just 3 beach balls. As long as it stands, it's fine. Fortunately, the horizontal layer goes on a lot easier than the vertical ones. Oh yeah, tiny beach balls work great for little pumpkins. My hands are a little gorpy, but I've still got some leftovers of those from my my haunt guy that I never attached to him. If you were of a mind to do so, you could go full Ray Bradbury and make yourself a little Halloween tree. Oh, I miss Ray Bradbury. I wish he was still with us. Can't believe they bulldozed over his house. Place should have been made into a museum. Mm. Ah, lovely. Of course, right now, when you want to think about Christmas, a long time between here and there. Long time. Feeling that by the time Christmas gets here, I will really need the break. Bonjour, Fafan. Good to see you again. I'm glad to be back as well. There was no way I was allowing this summer to complete without doing the Pumpkin 2.0 video. It's been too long. Though I haven't had too many other big ideas for new things to do either. There haven't exactly been lots of innovative breakthroughs in lighting and whatnot. It's all been kind of samey-same. Take care, Joey. Have a good night. Thanks for dropping in. We'll catch you on the flip side. Oh, personally, I miss being able to have tunes going in the background. Thanks, YouTube, for crushing creativity. I've done that many times, Joy. Many times. That's alright. It just means it's time to snooze if you're that tired. And the snooze will be good snoozing. Where are we at? Okay, good. We're almost done with layer 3 effectively. over the top. There, let's throw one over the top again. I am exceedingly lucky in that the penny saver locally here is widely distributed and heavily produced. I actually throw a copy on my porch every Wednesday. Go through it for stuff, and then free mache materials delivered to my house once a week. Interesting. Surprised they did it that way. I wouldn't have thought free papers would have the same impact in handling. Alright, I'm going to talk to the camera again in a sec. Once I decrutify my hands. Alright, I've just put 3 layers on this thing, and I've decided that due to one of the other potential conundrums of using the beach ball method, and that is probably the only edge the stuffed trash bag has above it, is that the stuffed trash bag likes to settle down. The beach ball, being so round, becomes very top heavy at this stage of the project. So what I'm going to do after these 3 layers here is I'm going to allow these to dry before I flip it and get to work on the opposite side. I like to have a total of 6 layers altogether, but it is not a super requirement. You could theoretically throw paper clay on after about 3-4 layers and be in good shape. But because this is starting to get a little bit wobbly bobbly, and I have no desire to go catching this thing as it rolls off the craft table onto the floor, I'm going to pause, let it dry, and then I'm going to work on the other side to distribute the weight a little bit more evenly. But you will find that this gets a little bit about this far into the project. Okay. And then we stop recording for a little bit. Interesting. I really wouldn't have thought that recycling would be that big of a infection risk. Alright, well the first part of our tutorial is film it. Yeah, this thing is really, really tough. And to a certain extent, that's fine and expected, but sometimes it's still annoying. That strikes me as a very, very logical possibility. A number of businesses around here have gone under just because there's nobody, they can't get help at all. And it's been an absolute nightmare for them. Oh, all right. Time to just project it up for a little bit. Oh. Wrong one. Clickety-lookety things. How we doing, Reggie? Interesting text blast there. I didn't quite see it on my monitor screen, so I had to pop back to Twitch. Hey, it's pretty cool. Oh yeah, the brown paper works great. I've never really had much of a problem with it. Wee-haw! Some of my strips here are starting to get yellow because I ripped them up God knows how many years ago. Yeah, I mean, for the most part, paper's paper. And Lord knows, toilet paper makes like the best paper clay. I wish I could afford to just get tons of that and have that be my only paper clay. Holds detail so well. So stupidly well. Makes me jealous whenever I watch Joni's tutorial on it. Because her stuff always looks so good. Oh, you're very well, huh? Welcome, Lila. Hoping to make many more. At the very least, we're making Pumpkin 2.0 for this year, because there's no way I'm waiting on that anymore. Just taking too long. Comes down to about there. All right. Yeah, if you can. Paper clay with TP is amazing. Absolutely amazing. And I think Joni uses a little bit more drywall joint compound. Or maybe a lot more. It's been ages since I made her recipe, but it was incredible. Thanks, Al. I like to think my stuff holds up tolerably well. stay a little bit bright-eyed and bushy-tailed throughout the video. Because if your instructor's not excited, why the hell should you be? I didn't realize this one was this far along. It's kind of nice. And we'll use whatever sauce I have left tonight to make some paper clay to add to that pumpkin so that I don't waste any sauce and leave it in here to get moldy. There's nothing worse than a gross crafting area. I mean, it can be messy, but it should never be filthy or disgusting. Mess is half of the art. Filth is good. I've heard of cheesecloth on there. Yeah. I think somebody else was using like an inexpensive fabric. Somebody was using something that was really impressive. It was paper towels. And this is the one that I did to experiment with that. Ah, what chucklehead. Yeah, that's right. People were doing paper towels on here. And I was experimenting. And it came out really freaking well, too. Actually, I may do a layer of that. Try to finish up this layer. I got shop towels on here that will just soak up sauce like nobody's business. Oof. Oh. Yeah, the paper towels definitely add a lot fast. I remember that now. Can't believe I forgot this was my experimental one for it, too. It's been a while since I've done this, maybe. Oh, my. Actually wonder if I've got any regular paper towels around. Shop towels are good, but they'll soak up a lot without necessarily adding it all to the structure. I mean, paper towel is nice because you can just lay it straight on. I do like the consistent lamination effect of newspaper, though. For texture, yeah. My texture is pretty much entirely clay now. I think you could add the skin to one of these guys, but I don't know. Well, another thing to experiment with, you know? Do a new style pumpkin and throw on the skin. See what it looks like. Might be amazing. And I'll never do it the other way. Yep, orphanage grade paper towels. Oh, it's been a long time since I yoinked that joke from Futurama. Yeah, dry brushing brings out any texture. I love it as a technique. Good stuff, John. Thanks for swinging in. We'll catch you next time you're available. Ah, good stuff. There are some folks who do, who was I watching? He's the guy who does Unhinged Productions, I think. His name escapes me at the moment. But he did a dry brush of one of his pumpkins, and he, if I remember right, and it's the right guy, he must have done like 8, 10, 12 shades of orange, and every time he did it, I went, I was like, wow, that's good, you can stop. And then he did another one, and it looked better. And I was like, wow, that looks good, you can stop. And then he did another layer of dry brushing. And every time he did it, it just looked better and better and better. And I was incredibly impressed and insanely jealous. To a point. Because at least the one thing I always think with my stuff is that while to me it might be reasonable to go to mighty levels of perfection, these things come out one night a year for Halloween, and most trick-or-treaters look at them for all of, you know, a second and a half, where they're blended into the background and nobody really notices. So it's not really worth it to go museum quality on them. This one should be fun, Layla. I'm going to be interested to see what the paper towel layering does to the strength of this one. It's already really bulked it out, but we'll see. We shall see. Personally, I'm looking forward to the next cool effect that takes my eye. Like the Witchwood effect really, really inspired me. I would love to get some other niftiness that works with my haunt aesthetic. Let's experiment with some paper towel again. I want to be like, oh, the shop towels cost a lot more, but you know what? They've been sitting here for years, and if you don't use it, then that was the point. Oh God, no. It is not for the OCD person. Nope, 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 nope. As far as I'm concerned, for paper towel layering, you really have to puzzle piece it on. And again, shop towels will just drink sauce. But I have a distinct feeling that they'll be very, very rigid. I add a lot of bulk and short time frame. In the end, it's all going to get covered with paper clay anyway, so who the smeg cares? Hey, Mithral, how's it going? Looking forward to seeing what kind of haunt season we get. Starting to already see the posts where people are going out to Spirit Halloweens and they're setting up and showing all the cool stuff that they've got for this year. I'm looking forward to taking a trip out at some point in September. Unfortunately, with the way school had me traveling back and forth between, actually I had traveling back and forth, I had a 40-minute drive to work, and with that I consequently had to spend a lot more on gas last year, so I don't have the Halloween budget I'd like to have. Otherwise, I'd be telling everybody, yeah, I already bought 2 of the 12-foot skeletons and 1 of the 12-foot pumpkin guys. And oh my god, yeah. Not this year. Excellent. Yeah, we're starting the recording of the version 2.0 pumpkin methodology with the beach ball, because I'll be damned if I don't get a tutorial out on that this year. Been too long. This is sauce a little thick. Now, there we go. I might have thinned it a little bit too much, but it won't matter. Boy. Oh, must get comfier chair for prolonged crafting. That or lose 200 pounds. Comfier chair will happen faster. You know, I did get like a 43-inch beach ball But then I realized the door was only 36 inches wide. Oh. I realized that even with creative angling, if I made that, it would be like, okay, this pumpkin has to stay in this room forever, or I need to knock through the door. You know, we can probably angle this down a little bit. Now, I suppose it matters all that much, but a more encompassed field of view might be nice. I have no doubt that it would make good, well, it would make the correct shape of ball shell cups, but I don't know if you would get a good thickness of ball shell cups, because theirs tend to be practically solid cardboard. It's really, really sturdy. But then again, if your shell's going to split along the joining line anyway, I don't know. I suppose it would be if you plan on bisecting this after you get it done. But then again, you'd be, I don't know, what's the price of a 12-inch shell ball? I don't know. That would be rough. I don't know if the price of a 12-inch shell ball will be worth you sitting down and doing this for the hours it would take to get it going. I imagine since the charge is blowing from the inside, you'd still get a relatively uniform distribution of the stars. I am really curious now, actually. What would you get if you used a 12 to 14-inch paper mache ball for a mortar shell instead of a compressed cardboard? Yeah. I would agree, yes. That way you know you have pretty much complete control. Really? 12-inch shelf? $300. Jesus. Whoa. Man, that is... I mean, I got a bunch of 3-inchers that I don't remember paying a huge amount for, but I didn't realize it was that freaking exponential. Damn. Well, in that case, yeah, it's probably worth it. I mean, one way or another, pay in time or pay in cash. I would think with something like that, you could almost make your own shell press for a relatively inexpensive amount. Then I'm trying to think, what would you make it out of? Okay, you're thinking the completed shell. I'm thinking just the cardboard outside. Yes, I could definitely see a 12-inch shell costing $300 in that case. No, that makes perfect sense. Yep. Yep, I've got a bunch of gum tape left over from my pyrotechnic experimentations. Love that stuff, honestly. It's excellent. Pyro, do you happen to know what just the cardboard shell part of the mortar would cost? I figured they would hit you up maybe. That's what I was afraid of. My chair leg is bending a little bit. No great desire to be on my arse. Oh, there we go. All right, 8-inch, $5.99. So a 12 conceivably could be in the neighborhood of 14 to 18. Unless they start really getting exponentially pricey. Why am I wondering? I have one of these stupid gizmos. Skylighter would have them. Oh. What am I looking for? Mortar shell. Hello, cat. What are you doing? Come on over. Come on. Come say hello. Good boy. I don't know if he's going to come on the camera. Yeah. Oh, he's probably hungry. Tubes, 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 tubes. 4-inch shell. Pyro tools, manufacturing supplies. Shell cases. What's the biggest? Okay, 12-inch paper shells, one set from Skylighter, $26.72. A 16-inch paper shell is $45. Yeah. Thanks, Lil. Yeah, I imagine if you got them from China and you imported a bunch of them, even still, if it's $26.72 on Skylighter for a 12-inch shell, just spitballing here, this thing's probably about 12 inches wide. Yeah. That would be an interesting concept for the pumpkins, if you could get a 12-inch shell for, problem is you'd have to order like 30 of them because you'd have to buy it in bulk to make it worth their while. 16-inch shell, you could skip the whole layering step. Oh my God. How lovely would that be? What if we did it out of plastics? Do they even make plastics in that size? I don't see them on here. Interesting. I think it would be fair to say, Pearl, that they make fireworks and I dabble in things that go foam. I dabble in things that make pretty lights. They make fireworks. I just know how it's done. I know the ways and means, but have not the means to do so. Fascinating science. I still like to haul out Shimizu's book every now and again to look at those recipes. Yeah, shows always have a large expenditure. Of course, now I'm really thinking. Take a look at the cost of a 16-inch paper shell. If it's 27, well, the 16 was like 45. If you imported it from China, even if it's $10 per, then you could skip the whole layering phase. Maybe one layer would be all you'd need just to anchor the clay, if anything. And then go straight to clay. I tried a mine one time, and it was like 3 or 4 of them. Well, I think only one worked reminiscently of how I wanted the mine to work. I think for me the biggest thing was just the fact that if you want to do it seriously, you really need a safe location to store your flammables, and I did not have that. And the last thing I wanted in my house was a whole bunch of stuff that, if mishandled in the slightest way or improperly stored, had the potential of creating a fire hazard. I just couldn't roll through with that much. Small amounts and little kibbles, great. Large shells, I don't have the storage for it. Yeah. Large space, humidity controlled, static discharging, or static neutralizing, I should say, so you can't possibly get a spark. And ultimately, the utility of pyrotechnics in the Halloween scene is limited. I had good luck with my first couple of years. Those smoke bombs still do a good job when I can utilize them, but you need distance between you and your trick-or-treaters to be able to actually use them correctly. Awesome. It's wonderful to have your own house. I just want them to keep me at the closer campus. Drive 40 minutes to Masonville. At least this year it'll be every other day. For now, until they decide to change that at some point. Oh, the changes this year are going to be so bad. Nice. Yeah, it's great if you have use of the land. It's perfect. Go out and have some serious fun. Awesome. I'm in southern New York. We're probably not that far apart, Pyro. Yeah, we're almost done here. We'll use whatever we got left to make some paper clay and have some real fun for the evening. Oh, very cool. I love the Finger Lakes. A good friend of mine was from Geneva. I shouldn't say was from. She's still from Geneva. It doesn't change because you moved to Boston. You're still from where you're from. Used to be from Geneva, but then she moved. That makes you not from there anymore. Oh dear. How have the hurricanes been this year, Pearl? I know you got, what is it, Frank, or the F storm or the G storm is about to come inland. It was just a tropical storm. Damn. Bring a scuba suit. Holy mackerel. I figure we were going to get it by beginning of next week, whatever's left over from the storm. Okay. Alright, that one is layered to contentment. Hey, Majesty. How are you, fuzzy cat? Good girl. Come here, get some pets. Meow. Yeah, good girl. All right. No more stripping this evening. Oh. Oh, gonna need some sauce for smoothing. Let's just mix it up. Hey Larp, we are making the stages of making one of these guys in various steps. I have just gotten done with a whole bunch of layering, and now I'm treating myself to making the actual space filler clay that gives them shape. Although I am going to mute the camera for a moment or two, just so this mixer doesn't drive y'all crazy. Come on. There we go. I'll just mute temporarily for mixage. And make sure that is defined. Okay. Some sauce for smoothing. And now we need this joint compound. Some of that's getting a little solid. Yeah, that much should do. Then my spoon back. All right, muting for mixing again. Okay. Time for floof. Oh, probably ought to. It'll be fine. I'm sure I won't rip my hand off. Let's not be stupid. Okay. I have a lot of sauce in there. We may have to sub-batch this. That's all right. Just means more clay, which is good. Since clay is the fun stage. I can't wait to play with clay. I haven't played with clay in months. It's funny, a lot of folks were having trouble with getting the fluff overseas. Ireland is practically impossible from what I gather. Alright, we're going to let the... Oh. Alright. It's not me, it's the machine. Let's let the machine do what we want it for. Remuting for mixing. Oh, my beautiful yet terrifying machine. Oh. That will begin. Unplug it to clean it off. Yeah, that's not sticking to any part of it. Perfect. Come here. There we go. Love this thing. Oh, that saves so much time and effort. I don't know why I did that. Yep. It's a lot more expensive than just a drill, but the fact that I can just small batch and go right here is so handy. Whew. Yeah, this thing really whips up a beautiful batch of paper clay in a short time frame with low hassle. Need a jackhammer for this spoon. Oh, no, what I need is I need two things. I need a don't turn into a brick for this brush. I need a tiny little spoon scum spot for the spoon. That way my table stays a little bit more, well, I'm not going to say clean because it's not clean, but a little less filthy. Okay. There you. All right. So do we put? We probably should start building out the face more than anything. Okay, just want to build it out because I don't want it to be just a big raised area. This will take a few layers to get ideal. Yeah, this is the This is the sit back and relax phase. You can actually do something creative rather than just doing something laborious. And I probably ought to smooth it as well, but we'll see. We'll see what starts to evolve. A proper skull should start getting chunky. I mean, a real skull would get chunky here. We might have to get chunky there. Because this is a skull motif pumpkin. Oh, I'm so glad I got that mixer. Oh my God. I had doubted it before. I had doubted it, but that... I mean, I whipped up a personal batch of clay in like 8 minutes tops. That just doesn't happen normally. The zygomatic process over here. So, I think, all right, we can't get too chunky there now, because if we do, it's gonna never dry. So, we'll just add to the layering for now, and we'll let it. Hi, Majesty. What are you doing, cat? Fuzzy kitty. Fuzzy kitty going, the food bowl is empty. What the hell is he doing? Why is he wasting on time on things that are not feeding me? This particular beach ball is, oh God, it's got to be maybe a 12 to 14 inch across beach ball, I'm guessing. would theorize. Yeah. I mean, you don't need too much beach ball to really have a good time with these. I probably would never go too much bigger than a 24-inch. Do I want them to be that far apart? Let's push them together a little bit. Scooch! Scooch! Have a good one, Pearl. Thanks for hanging out with us. Yeah, they sell some absolutely obscenely sized beach balls. And I have some, but number one, you have to make sure they fit through your door. And number two, you kind of have to make sure they're not going to roll around on you too much. Alright, so I need another toothy chunk there. And that'll let me comfortably add another toothy chunk over here. Without too much fear. Oh God, yeah. Got all those up there. You can happily mini yourself out with these guys as well. I need a bunch of stuff, but I need to add in a layer on all of that at the very least. Across the front. Unfortunately, these have a bad habit of having your initial impression layer becoming your final layer. And I don't necessarily want that to happen, but I don't want to be unprepared for that to happen either. Hold on, I'm going to stand up for a second too. My backside feels the need to remind me that I've been sitting for quite a while. The biggest pumpkin I have made is 24-inch across, which I made him back with the stuffed trash bag ones, and his name is Biggie. He is currently downstairs because last Halloween he got a little bit tumbled and he needs some repairs. But he is the biggest one I've ever made. If you start getting too big, then you have to really start thinking also about internal supports as well. Like a piece of PVC from bottom to top, just to hold it up. If you got like a 36-inch pumpkin, or God forbid you decide to go for some sort of, 48-inch monstrosity, which I've seen done out of fiberglass, but not paper mache. I think a bit of fiberglass sheeting would do you a lot better, but you lose the sculpting capacity of paper clay. It's getting there. Let's see what he turns into. I know I want the skull motif with this one because I was playing with my Sea of Thieves skull, and I realized I wanted something that had a similar motif. But Sea of Thieves skulls do a great job of looking sinister because they have a tremendous forward slope. They are practically simian in their construct. And with the round base, I don't have quite the sloping capacity I would need to do that. Yeah, 5-foot beach ball. Good luck! Hey Goliath, how we doing? I am better now that I've gotten back to it. Earlier I was in that classic, it's summer and I haven't done enough, but I'm not doing anything, so I feel bad. You know, I feel bad that I haven't done anything, but I'm not doing anything, so I feel worse because I'm not doing anything. And that means I'm not doing any, it spirals. And that is not a good mindset, so I knew that today I was going to get back to working on the Pumpkin 2.0 video, one way or another. Alright, we can... I don't want to add too much chunk here because this is already a really thick layer of clay. No, we're going to let this dry before we add any chunk. This horn here is about as thick as I want to go. And this is only, even now, early stage shaping. Yep, the classic crafter's conundrum. I feel good when I do things, but I don't feel like doing things, so I'm not doing things, so I feel bad that I'm not doing things. And so the spiral begins. Alright. So, I don't want this to be a big buildup. I want to take this back and slope. At least up here on the upper section. I want to take it back and slope. See a lot of pumpkins out there when people first start off, and they do a classic highlight, which is they give it a lot of bulk around the eyes, nose, and mouth, and that's not bad, and it's awesome. But if you over accentuate it, you can give your critter almost a raccoon-like appearance, where it's like the only bulk you have is around the eyes, nose, and mouth. It looks like somebody outlined it. I don't want an outline. I want a figure. Impersonal handcrafting, a good way to go sometimes. It certainly pulls a lot of the stress off. I know that for damn sure. It pulls a lot of stress off. When you don't have to worry about it. Cover that. And I do want that central nose arch to be bigger, but again, I don't want to add too much clay to prohibit it from drying. So, we're also going to need a little bit of clay here to take a pumpkin motif down. Which is fun. You know what? Who cares? It's your costume, it's your money, you do what you want. Taken me a long time in life to learn that lesson. It's your money, you do what you want with it. It does have a mad ball appearance. Its guide is the Sea of Thieves skull concept, which is an amazing piece of art. But again, they have an incredibly forward slope to theirs, so I want to make it reflect some aspects of it, but I don't want to try to copy it. If I can get the same sinister projection, I'll be quite pleased. But we also have to make it pumpkin-y, so. Oh, let's see. How do we want to make it pumpkin-y? Where are the lines going to be? I'm going to do a center line. That would be kind of easy. And because that's easy, that's exactly what we're going to do. Because I have all this clay here. I'll be damned if I don't use it. Hey, Wargamer Girl, how's it going? And thank you. We are getting the Halloween begun. That's not bad. How wide do we want the pumpkining? For the face, not too wide. The face looks good when there's lots of individual pumpkining. Careful too much. Again, if it's too thick, then it'll take another frickin' millennium to dry. Or at least to dry well. Oh, and I bought 2 more fans, but, well, we'll see. They should be here tomorrow, if we're lucky. I'm thinking about it, Goliath. The thing is, if I have the line here, will the line extend into the skull? as well, or will I have the skull a more independent entity? That's the question that is foremost. And it doesn't, I mean, really matter, quite frankly, but it's just if I have the choice to make, I should have some fun thinking about it. Because no matter what I choose, it's going to look awesome. And we also have painting to think about. Like, do I want to keep the face orange, even though it's a skull? Or do I want to transition to a bone, perhaps? And that's a lot of this here is going to get a lot more bulk, but again, if it's too thick, I've already said 10 times what's going to happen. Right on, Mithril. Have a good one. Thanks for hanging out. I should probably also be careful of the junction of the jaw here, because I don't know how I want the lower jaw to separate. And I'll have to watch out for that on both sides. Oh, that's a big chunky chunk. Extend that out. Yep, this one is going to need... well, if it doesn't dry for a while, I'll take it down and I'll put it on my patio where it gets to, like, 80 degrees during the day. We may wind up doing that. We shall see. Alright, our stem's going to be kind of up from there. So let's take these guys to their zenith-ish. That's alright if that vanishes into that one. Just want to make sure I use all of this clay. Do I have another? I don't. Idiot. Should have made sure I had 2 pumpkins at the clay stage. Ah. We'll be alright. Yeah, no kidding. I could take it out to my van and just let it sit there and get toasted by car heat. Okay, so I can go there. I still have too much clay left over. Well, if we're going to goober it, let's goober it in one spot. Actually, this is relatively risk-free. And better yet, it burns up a lot of clay, which is fine. Too much clay. Too much clay. Oh. Well, on the opposite side, this thing's gonna be armored like a tank. So I have all this clay. Let's bring that into the field of view. Excellent. Maybe I'll start a stem. Too much. So we'll give ourselves some room for the junction. Take this. Looks like he's wearing a skull-shaped football cap from the 1930s. No other projects needing clay. Not good. Alright, so what we'll do is we'll sauce the front, and then we'll see with whatever clay. We'll do the back as long as we have a balance point. Alright, so I need you. Anybody else? Anybody else? You might be useful. Sure, I'll need you. Anybody else? Anybody else? We'll see. Okay. I had a jar. I had a paintbrush. Alright, come here. I don't want to have the, at least now in my mindset, I don't want to have the skull inside the pumpkin. I want a pumpkin skull hybridization. It's a thought if things go pear-shaped, but at least for now. I would like it to be one and the same. I wish I could listen to Sabaton right now. It would be awesome. Do 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 do. Their music is really good. Merci, Fanfan. Yeah, it's fine. Watch him try to copyright strike me for just whistling a Sabaton song. Alright, this part's gonna be easy. It's gonna be tough. It's gonna be controlling the ball's desire to roll. This brush is too wet. Hey, Steven. I'm here until your brain decides that it's actually bedtime. Sounded vaguely like the wind's kicking up outside. That would be kind of nice. Oh, stupid ridges. You're no match for sauce. I'm planning on going full additive with the jawline, both the upper and lower, because I want this thing to really protrude. But there's a point where the protrusion is going to become unfeasible just with the rolling nature of the ball structure of the pumpkin. So I have to take it as far as I can while being careful that I don't take it too far. minute, I'm going to work on the front jaw a little bit, just in case the way it is now ends up becoming the way it's going to be, because that is a probability, and I don't want to have to rehash it just because I was too lazy to make it look good the first time around. Well, weight can be counterbalanced with pumpkins based on where you drill your hole. Like if the face protrudes too far, you can handle some of the weight problems by simply making your hole more toward the back and tilting the face up. And that handles part of the problem right there. That one's a little lopsided, but I'm going to leave it that way. It'll add flavor. Okay, so the ridges are okay, except for this one. That's going to need to be joined with the bottom ridge. It's going to need to be smooth throughout. Okay. All right, and now for standing for a minute and having a drink. And now for not bumping into things while I sit down again. Okay, now for smaller brush. Maybe not one of those brushes. This one I'm planning on putting on the ground. Who knows? Anything can happen. Alright. Now I'm faced with a problem that I don't have a brush that I want. Because I want this with its thin bristles, but I don't want the thing to be that long. So it's time to get tricky. I don't even know if this will work, but I'm damn well gonna try it. Because I don't want to take one of my good brushes and gorp it up. Alright, we'll see if this works. There we go. A little bit of goobering over there. Okay. Okay. I guess it's working all right. know I'll be bulking out the cheeks, but that's gonna need some saturation. Might get better saturation with this. Yeah, there we go. In fact, that's going to be oversaturation, but that's going to be okay. You're up at 4 a.m. The reason we all get up at 4 a.m. to go, why the hell am I awake? Why can't I just sleep? Body, I want to sleep. Why won't you let me sleep? Or at least that's what happens to me, and therefore I am projecting what I assume happens to everybody. Came to hang out with all the cool kids. That's all right for now. All right, and this little band is not holding, so let's just see what happens with the full craziness of the too big brush. Though in here, it's really not a problem. That's fine. Ooh, yeah, let's bend that spot in. Let's bend that way. Come here. That looks cool. I like it. Let's do it. Can we double you up? Yes, we can. There we go. Just enough to add some texture. Should anywhere else have that texture? If it does, then I can add it in post-production. All right. Teeth need work. First thing we need to do is remove the line from that lump I put on edge. Yeah, I knew it oversaturated, but that's okay. In fact, these aren't even the teeth, these are just the bits that the teeth will be coming out of. They all need to be deepened. Alright, and then they need, oh yeah, they need a decaying gum line. Come here. And what I need is a tool that has, not that, kind of a blunt bottom. Come here. There we go. Needs to be pushed down on the paper a bit more. Alright, that's not terrible, but that's cleanupable. There we go. And no one's going to look at it that closely anyway, so it's fine. Oh, pushed up too much. Okay. Great. Alright, any clay that we have left. We'll see what we do here. First Halloween project as a child. I think the problem was that I was very concerned with getting the one cool aspect of my costume in a time where anything was a replacement for it. I think when I was in school, so I must have been 6. It was first grade-ish, second grade-ish. No, it was second or third grade-ish time. But I went as a pirate. And I was very, very concerned with the appearance of my sword. Because I had a plastic sword that was store-bought and shiny. But I also had my favorite toy, which was a long piece of plastic I shoved through a completely unrelated thing to make a sword. And I believe on Halloween I ended up going with the janky looking piece of plastic because that was my imagination sword for playing sword guy rather than the store-bought shiny pirate sword. How about other folks? I also remember those old early 80s cutout Halloween decorations. There was the pumpkin with the scarecrow as the straw hat. There was the black cat. It was that classic set that went up in like every household. I remember happily hanging those. And actually, at the family cottage, my dad put up a little graveyard where we had trash bag ghosts and little wooden headstones. And that was very fun to set up almost every year. We went to the cottage in the fall. This pumpkin's gonna be a tank. That is a piece of plastic that really shouldn't be in there. How much is left? Oh, too much! Oh, alright. When embarking on a massive clay experiment, make sure you have 2 projects to absorb clay with. How about you, Stephen? What's your fond Halloween memory? Take 1 wad. Just moisten that because I don't think there's enough stick. There. I can take this wad. Nice. Cheesecloth ghosts are awesome. All right. Oof. Now we just need to ravine it and sauce it. It'll be good. Oh, I forgot to ravine the top. Oh well. It's fine. Oop, hand cramp. Neep lanterns. I've never heard of a neep lantern. What are those? And good to see you, Spooky House. I may have to look up what a neep lantern is. In fact, I definitely will if people don't type fast. It sounds like fun. I'm almost out of sauce. Good. Means I can pour this sauce down the drain without worrying about it. Oh yes, the turnip lanterns. Awesome. Yep, the original jack-o'-lanterns. All right, that is a nice tank solid start to this pumpkin. I think that will be all right because the weight's pretty well distributed around, and if everything goes according to plan, then next time I will extend the front teeth here again and bring that all forward. And if I don't, but I don't, because it looks fine. But otherwise, then we'll do the lower jaw, and then we'll throw in a stem, and this guy will be all set. That was fun. God, I love the sculpting phase. Screw layering with a giant, boring, huge screw. There you go. Yeah, this one was I can see some of the paper towel in there. So this one's kind of a double prototype one here. Uh-oh, there's still some clay. You know what that means? There's going to be a lump right there later on, because I'm not adding anything else to this. This will be a hardness test lump. In fact, we'll make a ball out of it so we can crack it open and see how the drying goes for very, very thick parts. Wow! I heard a row. That means the Sam is hungry. Samhain the cat. Would you like to jump up here and possibly get on camera? Let's see if we can trick him up. Come on, Tim. I bring kitty treats in here, but I don't want them eating from, dust. Oh, wow. What a good boy. Look at you. You came up. You must really be hungry. Hi. Hi. Hey, would you like to look at all these pointy things? You could rub your face on them. Come on. Yeah, you scratched yourself before. I'm be very careful and not touch your head while you're doing that, though, because I don't want you to hurt yourself. Yeah. Hi. Yeah. Itchy, itchies. Be very careful and not touch your head while you're doing that. Good boy, Sam. Good boy. Hi. Oh, a little purr. Yes, you're licking your chops. That means you're hungry. Hi. Oh, good boy. Thank you for joining us on camera. Samhain the cat. Yeah. Yeah, I figured you'd want to scratch yourself on that. Let's move it. All right. Thank you, Sam. Good boy. It's good to end the night on a cat sighting. This is, well, I mean, it's a new batch, but it's not new clay. It is the same recipe, and the only thing that I don't do now with sauce and clay is I do not add liquid starch. Yeah, that is the only thing that is different. I wish I had toilet paper clay, but that's, you know, you get these big honking bags of the cellulose, and it's just not worth it. They work so much better in terms of economy other than toilet paper. But yeah, worked out pretty well. We will expand this one hopefully, I don't know, tomorrow night maybe. I have to go into work on Friday, and that means I need to completely rewire my sleep schedule so I can be awake at 8 in the morning, because it's currently 5:38 a.m. for me now, which means I need to, I'm starting to get tired, but that will mean I sleep all day, as has been my habit. We got to rewire for school, so we'll see. We'll see. Otherwise, we'll take this mad ball of a pumpkin. We'll keep doing the filming on the Pumpkin 2.0, which is the one in the back. Fortunately, we have about, I don't know, maybe an hour or two into it with layering, and then we'll release that video. Hopefully, first week of September, depending on how much time I can get into it, because I'd like that to be out before October starts. I want people to have a month to work on whatever project they're doing, and then yeah, time and all that. Cool. But I am going to call it a night from here. Everything is at a good drying stage, and so we shall let it dry and come back to work hopefully tomorrow. But thank you all for hanging out with me this evening. It has been a real pleasure, and we will catch you all later on. Dun, 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 dun. Yes! Yeah, we're back at it. God damn it. One way or another. Clickety, clickety. And there we go. Good night, everybody. Thank you all again.